So, should you sit or stand when customers first enter your art fair booth? This is something important to consider because that first impression that you're making on potential buyers, it means everything. I mean, they could either stay in your booth and then end up purchasing something, or it could chase them away right as they're starting to think about purchasing. And so you want to make sure you do the right things in your booth. There's a lot of issues surrounding this, like where you're sitting in your booth or standing, like how long you might be sitting or standing, and all of these things could potentially impact your ability to make sales. So in this video, I'm going to share what I've learned over the last decade, well, a little more than that actually, of selling my work full-time at art fairs all around the Midwest. Now, one of the things that I love to do is try to find a happy medium between sitting and standing. And this is where a director's chair comes in. If you have a director's chair, it's going to sit you up at eye level with the people who are walking in your booth. So you're able to sit there in your chair and greet them at eye level as though you were standing. This is good because it allows customers to feel welcomed and that you are attending to them when they come in your booth, but they don't perceive it as being overly pushy or overly salesy. And if you want to know the director's chairs that I suggest, I've put links to them down in the description along with my art fair supply list, which is totally free. It has all the best supplies and takes the guesswork out of setting up your booth. So if you're just trying to figure out shows or you even just want to upgrade your booth, check out that supply list. It's going to help you. Also, I think it's a good idea to have your chair positioned at the back of your booth. And here's why. If you put your chair in the front of the booth, it is easier to greet customers just as they're walking by and maybe try to get some of them to enter your booth if you're talking with them. But the thing is, you have an artist next to you that's sitting out in front of their booth, and then they have 3 or 4 people talking with them. They might be talking loudly, as they often are at art fairs. This helps them get attention to their booth. But for you, the booth neighbor, it really sucks because they're out there, they're making a lot of racket, and it's distracting people from seeing your booth because they might be paying attention to them instead of your booth. And so this is why I don't like to sit in front of my booth, even though it is sometimes a good sales tactic. I don't really like to do it because it annoys the neighbors. Also, sometimes customers feel like it's a little overbearing to be greeted right as soon as they enter the booth with somebody kind of hovering over them and feeling salesy. And if you're sitting there and there's no one else in the booth, they feel like, man, I'm going to be targeted by this person as soon as I walk in. So what I found is a little bit better is if you sit at the back of the booth, and then when people come in, you can be sitting in your chair and just waving hi, hello. Give it a few moments and then start your sales pitch. So they have a little bit of time to look around and get the lay of the land of what's going on in your booth and see if they're interested on their own without you just trying to push sales on them. Now, I have shown my work at a few shows that recommend you stand the entire time. So that way you're being active and engaging with everybody who comes in your booth. Now, I don't like to do this because honestly, it makes you too tired. If you're standing up the entire day, you are going to be exhausted after 10 hours, 12 hours, some shows. And so think about doing that for 3 days in a row, sometimes 4 days in a row, depending on the show. You are going to be so tired, your feet are going to hurt so bad. It's just not worth it. And also, customers don't necessarily like to feel like they're being hovered over. Now, it's okay to greet people and be standing near the back of your booth, like behind your counter or something, especially if you just got done checking out another customer. But what I like to do is greet people and then go sit in my chair because it puts less pressure on the buyers and it allows them a chance to explore my booth because I don't want to come off as overly salesy. And more often than not, customers enjoy getting a little bit of space. And if you're sitting in your chair, the tall director's chairs, not the shorter chairs, because if you're down shorter, the customers have to look down at you. But if you're sitting up in a director's chair, you can meet them at eye level. You can have a great conversation with them. You can rest your feet and your legs so that way you can make it through the long day. And then if they need help, like they need to search for a print or need to check out, of course, you can get up and help them. And that's what I do. I'm in and out of my chair a whole lot throughout the event. This gives me time to rest and customers space to find what they want to purchase in my booth. All of that said, what you definitely do not want to do is sit in your chair, have your face in your phone, and just ignore people, because that is going to be the worst thing that you can do for sales, especially if you're sitting in one of the short chairs. Now, if you're in a director's chair and you happen to be looking at your phone for a second or two, it might not be as bad. But if you're back in the corner of your booth in a short chair, face down in a phone, customers might not even see you back there for a while. And customers want to be greeted. They don't always all want to be sold to, but greeting is pretty standard at these events. And if you don't greet the customer with a happy face and a smile and a hello, something simple, something basic, but if you don't do that, then you're likely to get very few sales. Next, if you want to dive deeper into learning how to do art fairs, I have an entire free course. You can watch it here on YouTube. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.